Tuesday morning. It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. Dale Hellestrae's here, everybody.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you? How's the cough? How's the hacking? How's the...
Comes and it goes. I feel great. I just have this cough that pops up every once in a while.
Right. And why does that keep happening?
I don't know. You? You're back?
I don't know. It was here while I was gone, too, wasn't it?
Can't get rid of it. Yeah, I got it last week.
Yeah.
But I think it was because I was talking so much last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were?
I usually don't talk that much.
I thought you'd probably bring some guest hosts in.
Well, since you told me the day before you were leaving.
Oh, please. You had 18 days to figure
You had
out.
You had that trip planned for a month or two before you went on it, and you told me on draft night.
That was Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday,
you were gone
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, you're right.
Monday.
Yeah, you're right. That's Holmberg, but he was like, I have bigger things. I don't have time for your draft show.
How's the stock market this morning, Stephen?
It's good to hear him doing good again over there at KUPD.
Yeah, he's back.
Back to his normal self.
Somewhat normal.
Yeah, well, exactly. Normal for him.
Now they've got Brady having some issues.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Brady's out now. I was like, what? No. Yeah, but Brady's struggling because his Brady's got my problem. He's got a daughter graduating here in a couple weeks.
Okay.
High school.
Well, Brady's also got some other problems.
Well, no, I agree with that, but I'm just telling you, that's extra stress. As somebody who's going through this for the first time in my life,
yeah.
Next 2 weeks might be volatile.
Really?
Yeah, Joe at Classic Collision. You better not start up your flaring bull crap.
Whoa.
The Discount Tire. You better not start flaring up your bull crap either. Just everybody better be cool around me. That's what I'm gonna say. Be cool.
Catching strays, Joe at whatever.
No, he's not. Joe's not catching any strays. That guy's a piece of.
Whoa.
We've been over it. He's a weasel.
Okay. So why is it stressful on you? I mean, it's not like you're sending Ethan on a European vacation.
I'm old now, man.
A European vacation for 2 weeks afterwards.
I'm old now.
He walks across the stage, you clap a couple times.
Great. But I'm old.
You'll be watching an NBA playoff game while it's going on.
Well, here's the weird thing. I just assumed the graduation would be like, because I knew it would be earlier because it's over at ASU. They do theirs at ASU.
Oh, okay.
So I knew it would be earlier because they just rotate graduations to there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I found out yesterday it starts at 2:30.
Ooh.
Coming up. Yeah. I was like, wait, what? So I'm like texting my parents, like, hey, FYI, this starts at 2:30. Like, Autumn, this starts at 2:30. Are you even off of work by then? All of that stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, what? This caught me off guard.
Are you throwing a little party for Ethan, or is it just, hey, adios, amigo?
Yeah, kick him out.
Congratulations.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to have a party for Dad. His stuff's going to be packed up and by the front door.
Is that the stress?
Yeah, I have to pack his stuff up. Just kidding, Ethan. Just kidding.
Well, it's an exciting time.
It all has to do with just you're getting older. That's all it has to do.
Yeah. Now, there's no doubt whatsoever that he is graduating.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not.
Okay, because I've been through a number of those, not my kids, but kids I coach.
A kid like he's just ignoring homework for the last semester, and he's got like a D teetering F, and there's a chance he won't graduate.
Yes.
No, his grades are good. Yeah. Okay. He's got finals next week,
okay.
And then they do the following week. They do all the graduation practice and all of that stuff there. But no. I mean, unless something terrible happens, he's good. He's got A's and B's.
Yeah,
he's good to go. Something bad would have to happen.
Sounds like his dad. You know, he probably could do better if he wanted to, but settles for A's
That's
and B's.
That's what I struggle with, especially Ethan. Ireland kind of just does stuff because it's in front of her. You know, that's the way I am. Like you're like, hey, we need to get this done. I'm like, all right, let's get it done. You know, let's get it over with. Let's go. Ethan is not that way. He's not due till Friday. So Thursday night at 8 o'clock, he's like, I got to get this done by tomorrow. And I'm like, that's a large project, dude.
Hey, Dad, can you run down the store and get me...
Now that he's 18, I'd be like, you go down to the store and get whatever you need. You got your car out there. So that'd be fun. Last night, Dale, I attended. I didn't even know this thing existed. And it was the greatest thing on the planet, man.
Oh.
I just had the greatest time last night. So Ireland, so there's special needs kids that go to Queen Creek High School and, salt of the earth, and those types of those kids. They have basketball tournaments and like other districts come in, like a regular basketball season.
Okay.
And everything. So Ireland has been like a cheerleader for them, her and her friends and some other, we've gone to do like cheerleading stuff for them and everything. And so Ireland had that last night. And I was like, I literally go, is this something I can go to? Or are you going to be embarrassed if I'm there? Because, she's a freshman. She goes, I don't care if you stay. I go, I'll just pretend like I don't know you. She's like, I don't care. Just show up. Because I didn't want to drive all the way home and then all the way back again, So I go into this thing. Oh, my gosh. So much fun, Dale. So much fun. These kids are just dribbling up and down the court, shooting basketballs, a smile on everybody's faces. It just brings you back to just what life should be about.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And you showed up, and
I mean, it was, and right across the way there, they're having baseball and softball playoffs. Queen Creek High School's baseball team's #1. The stress level on those kids, and I'm in the gym watching these kids just have parents just having a ball, kids having a ball. It was just an amazing experience last night.
That's awesome.
And they had cheerleaders. Ireland and her friend were helping the cheer people out and cheering and stuff like that. Just so much fun. I didn't even know it existed, like, in high school. Like, you need to do more. There were even high school kids, Dale, that would help them out. Like, so you had, like a regular basketball player, like a kid on the basketball team.
Right.
The men's basketball would be out there and would be helping them out, going up and down the court and stuff like that. And it was against Florence, and they had somebody saying it was just an amazing experience of people helping out. They got to start advertising that stuff more because it was just an amazing thing to experience. It was so much fun watching these people. You just don't see joy like that in sports or anything anymore, is what struck me last night.
Right.
Everybody was just happy. A couple people got mad. One nice little young lady missed her shot, and you got a couple chances at it, and she missed the shot, and she was mad. So it was kind of fun. Not funny, but it was kind of like, it was funny because she got mad, just like went over and just like sat down all grumpy. And you're like, yeah, there you go. But she snapped out of it and had some fun out there. But that's what I did last night, Dale.
Well,
and I just want to say, if you have the ability and you support high school sports, this is the one you can get behind. It was so much fun.
The first thing that jumped into my mind when you said that was fun, because even down to as Graham's getting into first and second grade and things like that, there's parents out there that are not enjoying their kids out there.
It struck me beyond belief. First thing I thought of, Dale.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This was nobody had a bad. There was one kid, it was so funny. There was one kid that he had like a hoodie on underneath his jersey.
Yeah.
And he's running up and down the court kind of hunched over. And I don't know, I've never been to this before. And like his older brother comes over. And so he comes out of the game. You basically play 4 minutes up and down the court. And it's not regular basketball. Like, they don't play defense. They just go down there and stand with their hands up so people can, if they miss, they get another chance, that type of stuff. And when they make it, it's so funny. They all react. They get all excited. Yes, or whatever. And they run down the court. But this one kid's running with the thing. I don't think anything of it. The big brother for him goes down there when he comes out of the game and goes, all I hear him say is, give me your phone. The kid's pulling out his cell phone, his headset, his earplugs, everything, and he's handing him to his brother. So the guy turns around and everybody's all like, wow, he's got like just a trove of stuff in his hoodie.
Well, he's running up and down the court.
But that's why he was running hunched over. Yeah. Because he was protecting his iPhone. And he's running up and down the court. It was so funny. The kid was like all bummed that took it away from him so he could go play basketball. It was so funny. But I just want to bring that up today. I didn't even know this existed.
Yes.
But if you know it does, it was free to get in on top of it, so you can't even use your $6 or $10 or whatever. And I was sitting there last night thinking about it going, oh, my God, the stress that's over at the baseball and softball fields right now with the two #1 teams teeing off out there. And then in here, just not a care in the world. It was a striking difference. That was the first thing I thought of.
Right.
Was watching the stands, watching the players. I was just like, this is the way sports should be.
That's awesome.
And it's not. Because, the other side gets stressful on the other side. So I did that last night. I just wanted to pass along. I'm just telling you guys. You want a reality check? You want to be checked back into reality that you're that their life isn't as bad as you make it sound in your mind. That's where you go.
Or what's actually important.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's they're just proud. They should be protected at all costs. Not protected is not the right word. They should be cherished at all costs. and things like that. And that made me think of Shane Gillis because a lot of his family has Down syndrome, and he tells jokes about it. Just how like they reset his memory, they reset his life with everything he went through with Saturday Night Live. He had jokes early on, about his uncle that has Down syndrome and everything, and just how he shows up to places and just brings light into it and stuff like that. It is an amazing thing. I just wanted to pass it along there. If you have an opportunity in a high school and you find, like I said, they need to advertise this. I don't know if they put it on their websites. I didn't even know it existed until my daughter got involved with it and everything, and it's just amazing. It's just an amazing experience. I'm like so you walked in and said, is Steve in a bad mood today? No, how can you be in a bad mood after watching that last night?
Stephen, very, very good job. As many times as I chastise you for some of the decisions you make, and rightfully so, good job.
Oh, Dale. Always giving me a hard time about something dumb.
No, I just think, you started the segment off giving Joe from Schmo whatever.
Yeah, I can go from anger to whatever.
A straight shot, but no, that great cause, good job.
Yeah, the principal walked in at one point. The assistant principal walked in. Full support from the school. Like I said, people, help them out, volunteer with them and everything. Which is shocking to me because when I was in high school, I'll be honest, when I was in high school, I wouldn't have done anything. I would have, around campus, but I wouldn't have gone afterwards for sports and things like that. I wouldn't even have thought about doing that. So to have all these people participate, it was just an amazing experience. That's all I want to say. Papa Mike says, what? No golf for Dale today? We're so blessed, I guess. Well, it's because it's Tuesday. Give him another day, Papa Mike. And the golf will resume, I assume. Look at that face. What does that mean?
Well, again, I don't think that I don't notice when I tune in. Wednesdays and sometimes Fridays, when I leave, your demeanor changes dramatically.
Best topics happen at that time?
Yes. Yeah. Hack on it. Choke on it.
I get award handed to me.
Ratings go through the roof.
It is amazing. You see him in real time. Whoop. It was like, where'd that spike happen?
When Dale left.
Robert says, are graduations still the cattle call at State Farm Stadium? Well, this is high school, but no, it's at the bank, is what I like to call it, the basketball stadium.
A lot of the West Side schools, though, I know, they go to
State Farm.
Yeah, State Farm and or Glendale Arena.
Yeah. And Queen Creek High School, as much success as it has in that East Valley, it's a tiny school. Like there's not a lot. It's landlocked. You can't expand it a ton. Even I was in the gym yesterday. And I hate to probably say it the way I'm going to say it, but it is not a Perry High School gym. If you catch my drift,
not spacious.
It's not spacious. So even the football field, the football, I went to a bunch of games this year, to support Ethan in ROTC in Ireland and stuff like that. And those stands filled up. Every other place we went, Red Mountain and other places, the stands would be full, but they're a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And at Queen Creek, they're not big. The basketball yesterday, it was like older seats in there, like when you walked on them, they really flexed compared to these newer gyms, just down the road at Perry and ALA and stuff. Those are nice new gyms. So I just don't think that. I'm assuming they do it at ASU just because space.
Yeah, well, that's what's interesting to me because even when I graduated from SOAR, there were 750-ish kids in our class, and we did at the football field.
Yeah,
and it was in late May.
It's hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now at ASU, are they doing a football stadium?
No, it's in the basketball stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bank.
Yeah.
So we'll be inside and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So Ethan's got to be there at 1 on the 21st.
Okay.
Then it starts, I think, at 2:30. But you got to get there early because it's gonna be crowded and get your seats.
So you're saying I'm on my own?
Well, no, we got to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it.
Well, right now on air. You want to talk about it on air? Okay, we got Lou on Thursday, so I want to see what your schedule's like.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Well, I can take a day off over there.
Yeah, so. That's what I was wondering. We'll talk about it after. It's not official. It's in Tempe. It's just I just want to know. Me and Dale are going to talk about it. We're going to do a show that day. But I just want to have things as I work out some other contingencies because I can leave here at 10:30 and be there plenty of time.
Right.
It's in Tempe. But how do I get my daughter over there? Parents, all that stuff.
How do you get set up for the party? I'm sure you're throwing a big party.
Yeah, he doesn't want one, man. He wants nothing.
What?
Nothing.
You don't want cash or something?
Oh no, that stuff. Oh no, he'll get that stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Dale, you're gonna be getting a thing here.
An announcement?
You're gonna be getting an announcement coming up. We were filling those out last night. We're gonna finish them up today as well.
And my daughter's
Okay.
able to help you out a little bit?
Oh my gosh, yes. I don't want to advertise that, but yes.
We can advertise Shutterfly.
Oh yeah, Yeah, we got to give a shout out to Shutterfly. They really hooked us up.
Okay.
Yeah, really hooked us up. Yeah, it was very generous of Shutterfly, where your daughter works.
Thank you.
I don't want to do that because then people are gonna be hitting you up, going, "Can I get that daughter discount thingy or whatever it was?"
Well, there's certain friendship levels that you barely squeaked in.
Oh, did I get the good one?
You barely squeaked in.
Did I get the good one?
Yeah. Because if we weren't that close, there's one level lower, and that's like 2% off.
You get free tax.
Yeah.
No, it was very generous of you, and I can't thank you. And
And do they turn out
Hillary
good? You
enough.
guys happy with them?
Yeah, they look really good.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you'll see them here. You can show them off when you put it up on your mantle at your house.
Now the question
Hillary
is,
comes over, she'll see it.
listeners, the question is Steve going to bring it in to me and hand it to me, or is he going to put a stamp on it and mail it to my house?
Well, Dale, I need your address.
It's just as easy to bring it in.
Yeah, I'll bring it in.
Yeah.
I'll bring it in
Yeah.
to you. Yeah, Dale doesn't want me to have his address. I can drive to Dale's house right now because I've been there once, and I always remember.
Do you think you can
I could
find
drive.
it?
I could drive. I might miss a couple streets to where I have to like retract and go back again.
Right.
But I can drive right to your house right now, and I've been there
Okay.
once. I can drive straight there.
Guess what?
You moved?
I can't find your house.
Yeah. Well, I've invited you multiple times.
to watch wrestling. Oh, by the way, what was your little mystic text last
It wasn't
night? Or,
mystic. It wasn't mystic. Okay.
X or whatever.
Okay, I've announced this before on the program, and we'll go through it. I hate private equity companies. Can't stand them.
Okay.
These are companies that buy entities like Subway, for instance, and they buy them for a large sum of money, and then they have to scrap their money out of them. So they make everything more expensive. Quality dissipates. Things get more expensive, and basically it turns to garbage compared to what it was.
Yes.
And then what they do is they get their money out of it, and then they turn around and sell it to somebody else. And now the brand is ruined. It doesn't ever recover. It's not the same. I can't stand. Subway's a good example. We talk about there's a bunch of other ones out there. Southwest is a good example right now. A private equity company came in, took over Southwest, fired the CEO. Now you have all these baggage fees. You have seating, and the brand of Southwest is ruined.
Yes.
And I haven't flown Southwest, but I follow the people online complaining about it and stuff like that since this has happened. But
What made Southwest is no longer Southwest.
exactly, they're everybody else now.
Yeah.
We just hate them now and stuff like that. All private equity firms buying into it. And by the way, that private equity firm that bought into it has privately sold most of their shares back out of it again. So they went into it, bought it, forced their stock price up by making these changes, and got out of it. They don't care about the companies. They don't care about you, the consumer. They care about making their money and moving on, right? And stuff like that. So I try not to, it's getting harder and harder, but I try not to work with private companies with private equity. Well, that's what TKO is, who bought UFC, who owns UFC, and then bought WWE. What they're doing is reportedly, every year they do cuts, right? So if you're not making it on the roster, they don't like you, you make too much money, you're not wrestling enough, you get cut, just like any other entity. It's always happened. But now reportedly what's happening is they're going to all the superstars out there. And they're saying you guys have to take 50% pay cuts. Big pay cuts like that to them. Or else you're not going to be here.
Really?
They're doing this. This would be like the NFL going and saying, like when Tom Brady was in the NFL, and the NFL going to Tom Brady and saying, 50% pay cut or you're never going to work in the NFL again.
Right. And this group can do it.
And they can do it.
Because they're not collectively bargain stuff with the players. And
So what I think TKO is doing, and was my fear when they bought them, is they want to go more toward the UFC side of things. Well, the UFC, Lou talks about it all the time. The UFC talent is underpaid, woefully underpaid. But that's the only way they can make money in the fight game is going through, the UFC. The only entity in town. So my thing was, so that's what happened. A New Day is a great tag team. They're fun. They're exciting. The fans light up when they come out. I'm not necessarily the hugest fan of them, but I do enjoy it when they come out on the under the thing. They're just energetic, fun, etc. Right out on the wrestling mat. Well, they decided to leave WWE, and it's all reportedly because they were like, no, we know our worth. We're not taking a pay cut to stay here. And so they decided to leave WWE.
Okay.
My post was simply, because AEW, we talk about this. I give AEW every chance in the world. Those of you that have been following this program and this entity after the radio, we had AEW people on the program. We went to shows for AEW to check it out, and I just lost interest in it. It's not good. The wrestling's not very good. The storylines aren't very good. And it was always better at WWE. So I gave up on AEW, 2 years ago or something like that. If AEW, because it's all older, like a WWE guy gets cut and it's an old guy, they'll bring him in. I have no desire to see a 60-year-old wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
50-year-old wrestler that didn't have it in WWE continue to wrestle in AEW. But if AEW goes out there and they start signing these guys with pay cuts and sending the message to these guys, hey, you don't like this 50% pay cut from WWE and TKO? Come over here.
Okay.
Come over here. That's how you'll get me as a fan and a lot of WWE people as a fan at AEW and build that brand. Getting relevant people. So that's all I was telling AEW was. You want to get people back like me? Go get relevant wrestlers to come over.
This might be a question that's too early to ask, but out of curiosity, like, when the USFL tried to challenge the NFL, I don't know if AEW is trying to challenge WWE or they're willing to coexist.
They would take him out. The Khan's own him, the owner of the Jaguars. Yeah. It's the kid, Tony Cubby.
Okay.
It's the kid, not the dad. But no, they would want to compete with WWE. They just can't. It's like the UFL right now. You can't compete. The NFL is such a huge juggernaut. You can't compete with that.
Right. I was thinking back to the USFL, and
so I know where you're going with that.
Is there a handful of guys that they could sign that would immediately
like the New Day, the New Day that just got cut? They could sign him, and if you put them out on this Wednesday show and they came out, ratings would go through the roof.
Really? Okay.
I would watch it.
Okay.
I would watch it. But it's not just them. You send the message out there of, hey, you don't like your contract at WWE and you get out of it, we'll gladly sign you here.
Right.
Type of a deal. And there is 15 wrestlers right now that if they left WWE and went to wherever they went, I would tune in every week to watch them because I enjoy watching them wrestle.
So New Day was one guy who got cut?
It was a tag team. Yeah.
Okay.
They left, but they didn't accept the pay cut. I was reading, rumor has it that every superstar in WWE was asked to take a pay cut, and half of them did. And there's a few that are balking at it, and the few that are balking at it are big names.
Okay.
That if they don't go on it, but again, it's just to the point where TKO doesn't care about the product. They don't care about you, the consumer. These private equity companies don't care. They're there to make their money.
They just want to put a show on, no matter what the competition and all that is.
Like for instance, night one of WrestleMania was pretty much garbage. Like it was fun in the stadium, but it could have been so much. Night two of WrestleMania was so much better. Rumor has it TKO was running the show on that first night.
Okay.
Meaning it was their storylines, what they wanted to be done, whatever. And then they went back to the old way of doing things on Sunday, and then went back to the way it should be. And it was fun and exciting, and everybody enjoyed it. Like these private equity companies just ruin it because all they care about is money.
Yes.
All they care about is money. They don't care about you. They don't care about the product. They don't care about the brand. They could care less. They'll make enough money on it, sell WWE to some other entity, get out of it, and they'll walk away with billions of dollars. And they don't care about the backside. So that's what my tweet was just selling AEW. Hey, man, I gave mine. I gave AEW a chance. I had them on my show. And I just couldn't keep it up. I went to a couple of them that were here, and it was just like, ugh, wake me up when this is over. But you get some good quality, and I shouldn't disparage it. AEW is basically like right now the UFL is. So you're talking about like if they signed like Herschel Walker, was in the
USFL.
Warren Moon,
Steve Young,
those guys were
Jim Kelly, a handful. Yeah,
but see that's the thing. They went head to head. You could be two separate entities, but now, right? It just companies get so big and so like the NFL will never be competed with because there's just so much money in it now.
Right.
You would have to have more money. I mean, you just saw that with PGA golf. Just because you have more money doesn't mean you can compete with those guys. They have the advantage being who they are. But can you grow your brand separately from it?
Right.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. If the UFL right now was able to sign some superstars in the peak of their career in the NFL, you would get a ratings blip and a money blip. You're not going to get to NFL levels, but you will. The problem the USFL did back in the day was they went out and challenged directly the NFL.
Yes.
That was their mistake. That's what Liv's problem was. They came in and they wanted to disrupt golf and ruin the PGA. If Live Golf would have just come in and did their thing, they'd still be around today.
Well,
People would be watching.
I believe so.
They angered everybody when they
when you have Mickelson and the Shark, I forget his name now, the guy who blew the 9-shot lead at the Masters.
That's what you remember.
Greg Norman. Their whole first 6 months was just bashing everything about the PGA.
Well, then they came in and they spent all that money to lure the golfers away. That just puts bad taste in everybody's mouth. If they would have come in and said, "This is what we're doing. You're more than welcome to come play with us. You can stay over there. We don't care. This is what we're doing to disrupt golf, and this is where our plans are going forward." They would still be around today in some entity.
Right.
And that's where people go wrong. You can't challenge the NFL. You have to do your own thing and just make inroads over time is what you would have to do. And that's how you do it. And guys don't want to wrestle at WWE. And they tried it with some guys. And it's just older guys that, not fun watching anymore. But these, like the New Day is brand new, and you send the message to these WWE people, hey, man, you don't like that. You don't like going from $5 million to $2.5 million? You send the message out there through all the, pipelines and go, we'll get you in here.
Right.
We'll get you in here for an amount. Let's talk. Come on over.
Right. And let's start something new.
Let's go.
I mean, it's not new, but let's make this thing big.
But that's the thing. And it would take some time to grow it and things to that effect. But, but that's all my cryptic goes. I can't stand private equity. They should be outlawed. When I'm president... Start that bit again. When I'm president, private equity firms shall not exist.
Or at least for the things that you like.
No, I think they're a dredge to society. They're private equity firms are the problem with America today. Because it's all about greed and money and ruining things. And it's just like TKO buying WD. They don't care if they ruin it, and it's just like, are they going to make it better? No. Name a private equity company that bought something and made it better.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Hey, we're gonna put a lot of money in this and improve the product.
They don't.
Yeah.
They shrink the product. Subway went from made bread in the in the places to now it's frozen and they just recook it.
Cheaper, Steve.
No, it's cheaper that way.
Yeah.
They went from fresh lettuce and stuff like that to frozen lettuce weeks old, and it's.
I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting that you bring up Subway so quickly because driving back from Palm Springs on Wednesday, we stopped to get lunch, and there was a Subway there, and I hadn't had Subway in years.
Yeah.
So I'll get a half a sandwich or whatever, and I'm looking at the stuff. I'm like, that doesn't really look all that good.
Yeah.
And then when I got it and we got in the car and started driving, I took a bite of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was not.
They went
good.
to frozen meats and all of that stuff. Yeah, and it's just to save money. Like Cracker Barrel, right? They went from making their biscuits in the restaurant to having them shipped in, frozen, and you thaw them out. It's not the same.
No,
but it's all to save money. To me, private equity firms are the. And I get their part of it. They can help struggling companies and stuff to that, which used to be their role. But now it's just about buying companies, extracting money out of them, and putting it back out there. I used to eat at Subway all the time. I'm not a sub guy. I'm not. Don't like subs at all. Subway was the one place I would go to, and I can't stand it anymore. So gross. I had the same experience as you one time. I was like, what is wrong with this sandwich? I'm like, is it me? And I did it again. Remember they were $5 foot longs?
Oh,
and all of
yeah.
a sudden now they got to be $10 foot longs and, and stuff like that. It's just like, whatever, man. Garbage. Robert says, West Side, best side. He says, mine was on the high school football field. Caroline Warner was our speaker. Lovely voice. Could have been the cigars. Who's Caroline Warner?
That's not Kurt Warner's wife, is it?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't think so.
She doesn't smoke, does she?
No, I think that she's younger than us. So,
Caroline Warner is. I recognize her. Oh no, I don't. I do not recognize her. You mean the former Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction?
that's probably her.
Yeah, there's another Caroline Warner that I recognize, but that she would not have done your high school graduation. Yeah. Yeah, mine was at Dobson on the football field too. But like I said, I have a feeling it's a size issue there at Queen Creek High School. So yeah, so 2:30 coming up. At least it's indoors. Could you imagine sitting outside? I mean, like when Autumn's kids all graduate, she's got one left in a couple years, but man, Desert Ridge. It's like you have to be there at like 5:30. It starts at 7 to get your seat because it fills up, and it's just sun's beating down on you, and you're hot, sweaty, and everybody's just like everybody's trying to be happy, but you're just miserable because how hot it is. By the time like halfway through the name calling, you're like, hurry it up! We're dying over here.
Come on, get to the M's. Let's go. Oh my goodness.
That'll make me laugh, Dale. Excuse me, everybody. I apologize. Robert, Papa Mike says, wow, awesome point, Stephen. You're on point today. Look at that. Get some praise today. He goes, you probably should end the show now before you give me a chance to find something you do wrong.
I was watching. It's funny you say that because I was just watching a Seinfeld rerun, and George. It was a show where he learned to leave on a high note because he'd always say something, and everybody would laugh.
Yeah, and then
you hang around and say one more thing and be so stupid everybody would forget about it.
Yes.
So then he just said, if I get a laugh out of people, I'm leaving. Whether it's a business meeting or whatever. I can see Steve going, all right, good to see you.
Dale's got it. See you, everybody. Heck yeah, leave on the high note, man. That's what they always say. Finish on the good ones. It's like golf, Dale. You play like garbage the whole round on 18. You par 18, and you hit some beautiful shots, and you walk off. You don't remember what you did before. Nobody cares. You just remember 18. It makes you come back again.
Now, some of the things you think about that, you get mad at this shot or that shot, and then by the time you get to 18, you've forgotten about it anyway. So
that's just because you're affecting you.
Yeah, you choke on yourself.
Hey, before we take our break here to start this show here, I got to bring this up. I didn't do it yesterday because I find it okay. That it's a Rattler situation. Nothing's been put out yet. Kind of makes me question if anything will be put out. We'll find out.
I've seen it hasn't died on Twitter.
No, it's still up there. But I knew it was there because I was watching the game. I watched the post game. I saw it and stuff like that, and it makes me laugh. I'll be honest with you. As stupid as the whole thing is, grown men in a sports environment sometimes make me laugh.
Yeah.
And this is stupid. The Las Vegas coach pushed Kevin Guy. Kevin Guy responded. They went after each other. The Las Vegas, we played that video yesterday. The Las Vegas coach is now blowing kisses to Kevin Guy. Just remarkably stupid environment, but so much fun to watch at the same time.
Right.
But it's just your coaches. How do you look at your team? How do both of these guys look at their team and go, every what are they? Unsportsmanlike penalty you get, you have to run in practice.
Yeah.
How do you look at your guy and say that when you just got kicked off the field for losing your cool, right? Stuff like that. So that's why I look at it on the coaching side. Kevin Guy actually responded. I had it yesterday. I didn't feel like playing it, but since we haven't heard anything from the IFL, I'm going to play this because this is remarkably stupid. I'll be honest with you. It's just, he shouldn't have done it, but at the same time, thank God he did because this is amazing. Kevin Guy actually responded. They interviewed him on the program after the game. He came out to the side there, and he talks to Yahoo Sports about the incident and all of that stuff. Here it is. Kevin Guy responds. Sorry.
Hey, I guess we've got Babs. Babs, what do you got for us?
Wow, what a crazy game. Coach Guy, what do you say exactly what happened there, and what do you want to say?
Well, whether he agreed with the call or not, I don't know if it hit the wall or not. It was about the call on the field was a touchdown. He didn't like it. He pushed me, told me to get off the sideline, and then he pushed the wrong guy. And I just, I'm going to knock his bitch ass out when I see him.
Oh, my gosh. Now, Coach Davis did put his hands on you, is what you're saying?
He sure did, and we're going to deal with it. I'm going to be right out here waiting on his ass.
Okay, there's Coach Guy in one of the great games in Indoor Football League history. Back to you guys.
I'm sorry. Totally not appropriate as a coach. You can't do that stuff. But dear God, I'm glad he did. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's always fascinating when.
Right
I don't know if I've ever been in a game. I was trying to think after we talked about that yesterday. Whether I've ever been in a game where two coaches. It's the only game where I guess basketball you could possibly get into.
Because they're close to each other, yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever seen a coach put his hands on another coach during a game.
Well, I brought up on the range sideline that's happened before.
Well, same sideline.
Yeah, same sideline, but not opposite. But they'll yell back and forth. But you're far enough apart,
right?
And stuff to that effect.
Yes.
But that's just he had time to cool down, and he's still just like, I'll be back here. But that reporter guy, that's like the number one crew. That was two teams vying for the number one seed in the West. Like this was a playoff atmosphere game.
Right.
And they had the number one crew there for Yahoo Sports. Jason Fitz, if you remember him from ESPN and stuff like that. But that guy's all he's like, oh my gosh. It's so great. I'm sorry. I should be more professional. I get it. Don't be like that. Because how do you look at your players on Monday morning and go, you got an unsportsmanlike penalty. You got to go run now.
Yeah. Or I'm going to fine you.
Yeah. You just, Coach, you lost your cool more than any of us did.
Yeah, because last year and the year before when I was doing those games, they did have a few games where they did pile up a little bit.
Yes.
And Coach Guy had to address it with fines, had to address it with physical workworkouts, things like that.
I think he said this year they run. And no, I don't think he said anything about fines yet, so stuff like that. That's the other side of it. I mean, Coach Guy takes a lot of heat for these antics, right, that he does. Like last year at the end of San Diego, I was in that press conference where there was another time last year where he just went off on his in-stadium people that work for him because they couldn't get him the info on time and
couldn't show the replay.
Yeah, and I mean, we're just in there just recording and just like, oh dear God, you can't be saying this stuff. But in the back of your mind, you going, this is awesome.
It's great for the media.
So he takes a lot of heat for that stuff. But God love him, man. That's just the way he is. I'll put it this way: the IFL continues to let him get away with it. Why wouldn't you act that way?
He's very fiery, and also obviously the Rattlers are kind of the keystone franchise of the Indoor Football League. Yeah. Been around forever and ever and ever. One of the most attended franchises.
They lead the league in attendance, and it's not close.
And it's year after year after year. And so, kind of like, as you pointed out in the NFL, there's certain owners who the commissioner will pick up immediately.
I can tell you this: that San Diego loss last year, I literally saw Kevin Guy on the phone with the commissioner, yelling at him down the hallway. I saw that whole exchange on the phone,
right?
And everything like that. And I'm like, how many coaches call a commissioner after a game while he's walking to the locker room, fired up about something? And he did get screwed last year in the playoffs.
Yes, they did.
But yeah, Robert says. I'm sorry, Papa Mike says, what a child that coach is. But I agree. Like, that's the competitive environment. Let's just put it that way.
Very fiery, very, he's been very, very, very successful. His players play hard. That probably got a little out of hand. But again, I don't know what I would do. Because I don't know if you want to go to break, but this happened.
Finish your thought.
This happened on an SCA sideline where there was a coach who put his hands on another coach, and I was riding home with the coach who put his hands on the other coach, and he was telling me about it. And so never. I mean, if a coach puts his hands on me, especially on my sideline and my coach, I'm probably throwing a punch first and then asking questions later.
Yeah, because people like this is hyper competitive environment. The reason why, like on the field stuff, I think I told you I'm okay with everything that transpired, except for they kept going at each other, like they didn't disengage. As a coach, you got to do that. After the game, you had time to think about it. You had time to cool down. You had time to like fume about it in the locker room and throw some things, and you still walk out and say that. That's when you go into like a bully side of things, and stuff like that. But I love that. I can tell you this: the other coach wants nothing to do with Kevin Guy. That coach was like, "Can I get escorted to the locker room, please?" Locker rooms are usually close together. I get Glendale; they're just separated by that
partition.
It's like a cloth that goes across. Robert says, "More professional. Why start now?" Coaches do that all the time. You just don't see it usually. I'll say this: coaches do it all the time. They usually just don't do it on air.
Usually, you bite your tongue very, very, very hard.
I have seen some coaches go at it in ways that you're just like, "Wow, you two are babies," but it's not publicized. You don't see it in the public, right? And stuff to that effect. But it's just like, wow. But there you go, folks. I just can't get enough of that deal. It's childish and stupid. He shouldn't do it, but at the same time, thank God he did. I'm sorry. I'll be over here. That's so great. That's a grown man, folks. Come on back. Main event. We got breaking news here, but more importantly, the breaking news is Bruce Cooper's here, everybody.
Hey,
Can there be anything bigger than Bruce Cooper being here early?
No, I know.
Early?
I went to break not even knowing he was in here and just poof, came around the corner. Breaking news, Dale, in the world of golf.
Yeah?
Jon Rahm announces he has reached an agreement with the DP World Tour. Both sides made concessions per Rahm. So expect to see Rahm on the DP World Tour the rest of the season.
Ooh, so he's leaving Liv
Now,
immediately?
That comes from
Liv
golf.
Liv is dissolving anyway.
Yeah.
That comes from golf.com. So not one of those fringe sites out there,
Right.
that we see there. So whether that's true or not, we'll have to see. But they're at least announcing it as of now. You're going to start seeing these guys jettison because the longer they play on the Live Tour, the longer it's going to take for them to get back on the PGA Tour. So that's why they kind of have to get behind that and things to that effect. So I don't know if anybody else has that, but that is out there right now as well. Coop, how you doing, man, on this Tuesday?
I'm doing great. I guess I can't complain. I mean, I've let the Suns get out of my system, and I was able to vent my frustration of Jordan Ott, the Suns head coach, and his refusal to match up big against big. I mean, he just it just drove me crazy.
What did you think? I don't have the clips now because it was after you came in. I played some of them where Matt Ishbia and then Gregory, the GM, they spoke a couple days later. Did you see their comments?
I don't know specifically.
I'll summarize what they were saying. They summarized by saying that they're not going to make any changes this year. They're happy with this roster. They think that they're going to challenge the veterans to grow their game going into next year, and they're going to look at some changes, but they're not necessarily in the need to change their roster going into next year. To me, that's alarming because they need some length.
Well, I'll say this much. You know, we just finished up the NFL draft, right?
Oh.
Do you believe anything that comes out of the front office during that period of time? No.
But
And
why
so-
would you sit down and
so-
say we're not interested in changes? Though?
Well,
What does
see,
that serve?
I don't know if media asked them the question and they responded, but I don't expect them to give away their plans or their desires.
Or even with their hopes.
Right,
Yeah.
and things like that. But I will say this, that player development is huge. And I've said here on this show, I think I was with you, I think I've heard people say that they think that the growth of Malawach and Fleming is paramount. It's huge. I think the biggest player that needs to improve the most is Oso Ighodaro.
Oh.
Here's a guy who plays center. He's an undersized center, but he's perfect at a power forward. But the dude has to develop a perimeter jump shot, for crying out loud. That's the only way this will work. The Suns will be so much better if Oso Ighodaro and Rasheer Fleming can share the 4 with Malawach and Williams sharing the 5. But when you have Oso, who's limited to some push shot in the paint, dude, and he shoots 45% from the freaking free throw line. Are you kidding me?
Right.
This dude has to evolve. See, that's how the Thunder got better, is through player development. It seems like everyone that they draft, you know, I don't care if it was a no-name, they emerge as a player. They put in the work. They develop. Look, I have no doubts that Rasheer Fleming and Malawach will put in the work. I mean, I do doubt very seriously Oso Ighodaro. This is just coming up on his 3rd year. He came into his rookie year with a push shot in the paint.
Yeah.
Second year, push shot in the paint, 45%. Dude, are you kidding me? Dude, put in the work, man. Come on.
To me, it's one of those things where you start playing basketball at a young age, and yeah, when you're a younger kid, you have to push the ball and things like that. But the one thing that I've always said this about Magic Johnson, he came in, he couldn't shoot.
Absolutely.
He could pass.
Absolutely.
But like nobody else could.
Jason Kidd couldn't shoot. Amari Stoudemire, who I saw firsthand, who came in, who was just a dunker.
Right.
I mean, they all evolved into great shooters. Matter of fact, Jason Kidd's one of the top 10 leaders in three-point made. The dude, they used to call him Ace and Kidd. You know why? Because the J was missing.
Yeah.
His J was missing.
Right.
But also, it's possible. Do it. You have so many examples ahead of you.
Right.
I mean, it frustrates the heck out of me.
Yeah, because you see the potential that if he could just hit a 15-foot jump shot.
Absolutely. It would change the dynamic of the Suns roster.
Right.
And here's the deal. This is what I like what I saw in here, too. He puts the ball on the floor, and he can drive and finish with either his left or his right hand. I mean, that's very good.
Right.
But, dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, no.
He's still fired up about the Suns.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing about it.
But I thought I'd let him out.
Well, I got fired up by the comments because I agree with you. But I mean, what's the benefit of sitting down? I get it. Matt Ishbia, I call him the giant cheerleader. It's just he'll always just be Mr. Positive and things like that. And you got to give him a ton of credit for building the team that they did. They did everything they said last year, and they implemented it.
Yeah.
And the team outperformed. And I can get that type of optimism, but they cannot be that dumb where they don't see what everybody else sees. You're missing the link needed, to compete with the bigger teams.
You said it during the season a number of times. They have so many guys that are alike.
Yeah.
It's not like you look at Oklahoma City and they can bring in big guys, They could bring in small guys.
Yeah.
They could bring in a mix of guys.
Yeah.
But-
It's like
but here's-
Devin Booker goes out, and then the Devin Booker clone comes in.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
yeah, absolutely. So Steve is saying they have to go acquire length. I disagree. They have to play the length.
Well, that's issue number two. I agree with that.
Because I mean, look, Rasheer Fleming just sat. He just got garbage time during the first 3 games. In game 4 in the third quarter, still a tight game. Puts him in. First thing that happens, SGA drives and it's blocked by Fleming. Fast break opportunity the other way. Come back down. Next thing you know, Fleming has a strip steal. Fast break and one for Dillon Brooks going the other way. Oklahoma City calls a timeout. But my point is, this dude was on your bench the entire time.
Right.
And
So he
you
was playing G
didn't
League games.
use him. You
Yeah.
didn't use him. And it just drives me crazy that they had the Thunder, 2 7-footers that they started. Hartenstein and
Tall, skinny guy from Gonzaga. What's his name?
I'm losing his name
Chet.
already.
Chet
Holmgren.
Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren. Thank you very much. And so we're matching.
Chet.
We're matching up. Well, get this. This was their starting lineup. Game 1 of that series. Booker, Green, Brooks, and Jordan Goodwin. 6'3" Jordan Goodwin.
Right.
Goodwin. And then you had Oso at 6'11".
Right.
I mean, are you kidding me? I love Jordan Goodwin as well. But just like the Thunder would do, they would take advantage. They said, okay, Oso, you're the only big they have. Tell you what, Holmgren, we'll step out the 3-point line. Oso has to come out. SGA drove repeatedly in the paint and scored. It reminded me of what took place in the Portland play-in game when Denny Avia just drove at will. The dude, he's got Ott now. He has Royce O'Neal as his big in that one.
Right.
I mean, it drove me crazy. And so you wonder why the other team is scoring 50, 60 points in the paint. The other team is getting, 20 offensive rebounds with 32 second chance points. Come on, man.
Tell me this. Because I liked him when he played, and I think he's the difference maker, Mark Williams. What do you do with him?
That's a very good question.
You know?
That's a very good question. I mean,
Did you like him when he played?
Oh, he played extremely well early on, and so then he wasn't missing it. Only games he was missing is the load management games when the Suns refused to play him in the second game of a back-to-back.
Yes.
That's the only time he missed. And then all of a sudden, not long after Dillon Brooks breaks his hand, dude goes down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, are you asking me if would he have made a difference? Well, yeah. He would have, but the Suns still would not have beaten the Thunder.
I don't know.
And don't get me wrong, they would not have beaten the Thunder, but they could have won a game, maybe even 2. They did that during the regular season.
I tell you what they could have done was they could have beaten Portland.
Yeah, they could have.
And then they have San Antonio.
Yeah, who they match up better with. Yeah.
Do you bring him back?
Yeah.
Mark Williams.
Well, I tell you what. I think I do. I do. You know why? And the biggest reason why? They gave up 2 first-round picks for the dude.
Yeah.
They gave up 2 first-round picks,
I forgot that.
I'm not willing to give up on a player that I gave up so much capital for.
What if it costs you an arm and a leg, though? Because he's going to be highly coveted, right? I told you guys, Lakers wanted him originally.
He's a restricted free agent.
Bulls don't want him, but that's what I mean. So he goes out and gets a big contract.
But the Suns
can
can
match it?
The Suns can match. Well, sure they do.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure
If it's a big deal, are you going to be willing to match it at that point?
Sure, yeah.
With Malowatch there in the background, waiting to go out there and do his menace on the thing, because Edwards is going to get a big contract from somebody, and that becomes the
Do
question.
you think so? See, I think he's one of those guys that if this was his first injury-plagued season,
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, it's maybe an anomaly. But it's almost like you got to plan on him missing 30 games.
Yeah. And look,
The Bulls won't care if he misses.
I hear
There's
you.
a lot of people miss games.
I hear you, but the thing that stood out to me most with the comments, I mean, I was just looking online, watching some of is so many people were dogging Booker. Yeah. Now, let's keep in mind, Book did not play well at all in either of the play-in games, nor the series. I mean, Jalen Green was dropping 30-plus points in each one of those play-in games. Jalen Green he showed that he was healthy now. He can get to the basket.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets downhill. I mean, he's just quick. He's just that dude.
He's got him first.
Yeah, so you're not getting rid of him. And so what you look back and you say is that, man, Brooks, Green, and Booker, they played only like 31 games together.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, dang, that's not even half the season.
Right.
And I'm not saying you have to blow this team up, but I mean you gotta be willing to make some integral changes here.
I think you have to. I don't think you can bring back the same. And the guys that I'm looking to get rid of myself would be the Royce O'Neals and the Grayson Allens.
Right.
So-
I like Grayson Allen's shooting ability, but the dude is hurt every time. Every
Yeah, that
year.
one when he first got here was unbelievable, and then kind of injury got big, and then injury prone.
And so we saw that Kobe Brea, the dude can shoot. He just needs to play.
Yeah.
Let him play.
I think Grayson Allen, the more tanned he got and the more muscular he got to look good in downtown Scottsdale, the less he played basketball.
Well, that was 2 years. Then this year he kind of slimmed down a little bit. Then he had all the leg problems on top of it. But what do you do if you get a call on Jalen Green, which I don't think you will?
I'm not getting rid of Jalen
You're
Green.
going to keep Green?
Oh, absolutely.
That would be the only one. If you got good enough back for him, I could understand making a move, but that's one that you would have to blow.
No. What are you trying to get back?
That's what I'm saying.
I think the Suns they have a very athletic.
They call
guy.
and say you can get Luka for Jalen Green.
Well, I tell you what, I know Rob Pelinka and those guys would be murdered in L.A. if they did that, but I take the deal. I take the deal. But
You go done.
Yeah,
I know.
absolutely.
I'm being sarcastic.
But my point is that when you talk about length and athleticism, all rolled into one, and you see that Rasheer Fleming, the dude is shooting about 40% on his corner threes, and that's getting limited time. So now you look for his game to mushroom because this dude is hungry. I mean, you could see it. He wants to get better. He wants to play. And so Malawak, he does something a little different. And I want you guys to understand how the Suns were just thwarted offensively against the Thunder. See, the Thunder, they put so much pressure on the perimeter that it leads to turnovers. But the reason why they could not beat the San Antonio Spurs is because, and this is how you do it, you hit them in the middle. They hit Wemby in the middle, and Wemby can either take that shot or take a dribble, and he's already at the basket. And so it takes away their perimeter pressure that they put on you. Now the Suns, when they throw the ball in the middle to Oso turns his back to the basket. And he's looking to do a dribble handoff,
and he looks everywhere.
And so he's not attacking the basket. Well, at least Malawak has the range to shoot. Now, and so did Mark Williams. That's why I said the Suns would have done better with Williams. Williams can shoot that 15-foot shot, and he can also take it to the basket. So it's just the Suns have something there that can make them better, but Ott, for one, has to play him, and then B, again, it goes back to you guys' question. What do you do with Mark Williams? I mean, guys talented.
I agree keeping Mark Williams, but if the price is right. And what I mean by that is somebody doesn't overpay for him.
Right. Well,
if somebody overpays for him, then unfortunately you got to let him go. But then also, if you let him go, that's going to force them to play. Look, you get a guy in the top 10 pick, and it's the guy that you wanted, and he basically fell to you at 10 because of backroom negotiations that the NBA
orchestrated by LeBron's agent.
Yeah, so it was orchestrated from Clutch Sports that he go to the Suns at 10, so he fell a little bit to get and to not play him. Fleming, I can understand. Later in the draft, okay, maybe we don't. But there's no reason not to play a top 10 guy that you purposely made the deal to get him to go to you. That's what drives me the nuts. Mike says, Papa Mike says, Bruce still remembers enough to give play-by-play of the series. Very impressive. That was a week ago, folks.
Yeah, I'm still
breaking it down.
I'm still angry about it.
Sorry to bring it up for you. When we come back, we're going to talk a little hockey with these two guys as well, because it's local flavor happening everywhere right now. Couldn't have happened to a better team out there in Toronto. We'll talk about the history of this and everything.
You got issues, Steve?
Well, the guy they hired I have issues with. That guy should be blackballed beyond belief.
Coop has to go back in his time machine.
I know. And we will talk a little hockey here, just wrap up and update everybody on the series before we get to Diamondbacks' new series against the Pirates after the disastrous road trip. get you updated on the NBA playoff brackets as well. Coop joins us on Tuesdays, folks. I'll come back. Second hour coming up. Second hour main event. Coop asked me a question. I'm like, you know what? I can't remember the kid's name now. Out there, of course, I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, Dale Hellestrae, 17-year NFL veteran, Westward Warrior, just all-around basketball stud. Bruce Cooper here as well from back in the day. From that, hey, let me ask you just as a side note, and then we'll talk a little hockey here because of some developments that have some roots here in Arizona with the Coyotes back in the day. As well. But let me ask you this. Randy Bennett's, have you been following who he's bringing in on this program?
Yeah.
For a guy in his hospital bed doing all this?
I'm very excited. See, he brought in Paulus Maracas, who was like, I think he was number 9 in the transfer portal. And if you go watch, and if you watch the guy play, I mean, he's like 6'8", 6'9". He can shoot the three. He can put the ball on the floor, and then he can post up and score inside. Very, very prolific scorer. Then he also got another former St. Mary's player, Dylan Shaw. Shaw was a freshman recruit, and the kid can run the floor. The kid can shoot the three. He can put the ball. I mean, he brings some quickness and athleticism. All right. So beyond that, they. In their conference, they played a team called Portland was in there. Portland State was in there.
WCC.
And so they had a kid named Joel Foxwell, a true freshman who led the WCC in assists. And so they're looking at him to be their point guard. They had a kid named Innocenti, a junior, I guess, defensive savant from Gonzaga that he's bringing over as well.
Okay.
And beyond that, when Bennett was at St. Mary's, he recruited a kid named J. Rob Croy. Now, Croy is I think he's like a top 100 kid recruit.
Out of high school.
But his father coached at another WCC team. I think it was.
He brought his dad over too.
He brought his dad over. So naturally, J. Rob followed his dad to ASU. But I think it's Cal Baptist is where he was.
I think you're correct. I know it's one of those religious
schools.
And
so he had a guy, a freshman center. I'm talking about J. Rob Croy's dad, that he brought along with him as well. But I looked up the kid's stat. I mean, boy, it's nothing that you're going to brag about or boast about. But you know, he's a 7-footer though. You can't teach 7 foot,
right?
Especially in the Big 12, you're going against some big dudes.
And so they got him, and he didn't play much. I mean, he probably played less than come on, Malawat.
Yeah.
So nothing good. But yeah, Randy Bennett, his class, his transfer portal class that he's bringing in, it's number 1 in the Big 12.
Yeah. It's top, at least the last I saw, it's top 10 in the country.
Yeah.
As well. Well, let me ask you, because this is my question kind of leading into this. Does it worry you that it's all mid-major players coming over? Can they step up into a Big 12 type league?
No.
Is that acceptable because it's the first year of Randy Bennett? You'll expect more next year? Give us your thoughts on that.
Hey, my thoughts are, if you can play basketball, it doesn't matter what conference you're in. I mean, we see guys from the WCC like Chet Holmgren from there. I mean, come on, man.
Gonzaga.
They got and Nimhard's from there. These guys are making a big inroad in the NBA. But if you can play, the conference doesn't matter. I mean, we're seeing a lot the transfer portal now. We're seeing a lot of kids from these mid majors make impacts at these Division I schools. I have no doubt that Maracas and Shaw and Foxwell will be able to do just that with Arizona State.
Go ahead.
Tell me this: have I missed it, or if they had an introductory press?
They still haven't.
No.
They still haven't.
They said they do it after because the transfer portal opened and everything. A lot of people are making a big deal of that. My opinion is I don't care. Most of these press conferences are you either win them publicly or you lose them publicly, and then you talk about it, and nothing matters in it, right? I mean, you can tell, and Randy Bennett certainly won't be this way. But like when Adam Gase with the Jets, you're like, this guy's going to fail miserably. How did this guy get through the interview process?
Right.
So that can happen, but it's not going to happen with Randy Bennett. So to me, it's not even have one. Let's just introduce him when the season starts. Call him out there. Have his name be called first when he comes out on the court and stuff like that. But, so I don't think it's a big deal. The media's making a big deal out of it. That's because they got to get into it.
Yeah, you need a talker.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Randy Bennett's he's not a Dillingham. Let's put it that way. He can be kind of a surly guy at times. Some of his press conferences after games are going to rile people the wrong way. He's got that in him. So I'm actually okay.
When you get an older guy, that's what you're going to find some of that surliness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to bring that up. But another thing we got to talk about now, Coyotes. I have this cough I cannot get rid of, so I apologize. I swear I'm not sick on you.
Okay. No
I hear, but in the NHL, Toronto, lots of Coyote ties out there. Mammoth with all their young kids from here just got eliminated by the Knights. In their first round, finally made the playoffs there. Only half the town could see it, but they still made it, best owner in sports and everything. But then our old buddy Chaika, if you haven't been around long enough to remember this, did a lot of bad things here when he was here with the Coyotes and everything, and being hired as the GM of Toronto after basically being kicked out of hockey and nobody had any interest in him whatsoever and everything like that. What are your fond thoughts of this fine gentleman?
Well, first of all, I got to tell you guys that I certainly have a strong affinity and love for Shane Doan.
Right.
And if you were a fan of the Coyotes, you couldn't help but be a Doan fan.
Yep.
If you were a media member, you couldn't help but be a Shane Doan fan. Look, I'm gonna tell you, one of my greatest memories of Shane Doan. I'm having to do a live shot. Is the Coyotes are playing the St. Louis Blues in the playoffs. America West Arena is the site of the home game here.
Right.
And so I had talked with Rich and Aaron, the Coyotes PR director, before, and I said, "Look, Rich, I'm going live after the game." I said, "Can I get a guess?" He says, "Okay, sure." He says, "No problem." Well, the darn game went to overtime. And so I'm like, I'm not going to have a guess. Right. And so I'm in the hallway outside their locker room. And you know how they put the carpet, the little runway down there, because the guys had their blade skates and stuff. So we go to commercial break, and I say, "Hey, look, I'm just going to just have me do a Q&A with Mark Curtis. I'm not going to have a guess and stuff like that." And they say, "Okay, no problem, Coop." Well, I hear the horn go off. And so the game's over. All right. And I really don't know who won, but they told me in my ear, my FB, that Blues won in overtime. Okay. All right. So as I'm getting ready to go on, I'm starting to talk. I see out of the corner of my eye, two guys running. One, I just see sweat just flying through the air and stuff. It's Shane Doan. He ran to me to be my guest for the post game, and he apologized on air for being late. Dude, you had an overtime game. Are you kidding me?
And they just lost.
Yeah, and they just lost. And he but that's just who the Captain Coyote was.
Right.
He's just that dude. And keep in mind, at that time on that team, he had some guy named Jeremy Roenick.
Yeah,
maybe
big
you
names
heard of
with
him. A guy named Keith Kachuk. Maybe you heard of him. But this guy, he was that dude.
Right.
He's that dude. So now you fast forward to, his career is obviously winding down. Coyotes hired this snotty-nosed kid named John Shika, and I call him snotty-nosed just because he was like, maybe 28, 27 years old, really young. I mean, and as their new GM.
And Murillo was the owner at this time, right?
No,
he had not bought yet.
he hadn't bought it yet.
That's what I was trying to remember the time frame on that.
And so at any rate, he wants to meet with Shane Doan at a breakfast. And man, you wouldn't believe the word that's coming out of there. I mean, he fired Shane Doan. He said, "Look, we don't want you anymore." Shane, like, dude, look, I'll play on the fourth line for you. He said, "I just want to have one more year, my swan song." No, you're done. And so when that came out, oh my gosh, there wasn't a media outlet in town that didn't crucify Shika and the Coyotes.
Right.
And
this would have been like in the final year where Larry's about to retire and Larry went to the Cardinals. This would be the equivalent.
Yeah.
And Larry was like, "I want to play one more year. I'll play whatever role, even if it's a third down running guy, whatever, barely on the field. But I want to come back for one more." And somebody in the Cardinals going, "No, that's all right. We don't need you."
Yeah.
It would be the same type.
Yeah, and now so when Alex Murillo did get hired, and this is a crazy thing. He did a smart thing. They were trying to they decided to bring Shane Doan back into the organization.
Right.
And Shane says, "Hey, look, I'd love to be the director of player personnel for the deal." And Murillo's snotty 24-year-old snotty kid told him, "Oh, you're not qualified."
Now this is not the same guy.
No.
Okay, so it's Shika and this Murillo
now that the ownership changed now because Murillo bought and so Shika's gone now.
Okay.
Shika's out.
Right.
And so, but his 24-year-old kid, Murillo's kid, told Shane Doan, "Well, you're not qualified to be director of player person." Are you high?
Well,
I mean, come on, man.
There was always an idiot in town in Alex Murillo, the dad, But there was a bigger idiot in town with this stupid kid. His kid was a moron, and I don't care. You can hear me say that. You are a stupid moron. You're glad your dad's rich because you are a stupid moron. For that reason and many others out there, and apple doesn't far fall from the tree there.
And so that led to Shane leaving the organization.
Yeah.
And he's up in Toronto.
He was. His contract's up in June, and he ain't going back there.
No. Now that Chika is now the GM there, but here's the deal. So I don't look at that as being bad because here's the deal. This is what I was told. I was told this. That Shane Doan's wife is part of this group that's trying to get the Coyotes back in the NHL.
Right. Yeah.
And I was told, and I'm not going to throw Lindsey Fry under the bus. No, I didn't say that. I was just told that Shane Doan would, once his contract's up in Toronto, he would join their organization and their group, and try to get that ownership and the team back. So it was going to happen anyway, but the fact that
he doesn't want to live in Canada, he wants to come back here.
Yeah, the fact that that Toronto would even hire this guy.
It's been 6 years, I think, since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind also, besides that side of it, which everybody holds it against Chika, but there are stories out there when oh my gosh, the current GM of the Mammoth that was here for a long time, I just forgot his name. When he came in, I've heard stories where there were like 6 monitors up in the office. And like 5 of the monitors had like stats on them and things. But they could only get 1 to work. And somebody has to tell the new GM, that I'm forgetting his name. He's up in Mammoth now.
I see his.
I know, so do I. I can totally picture him. But he's asking, he goes, "Well, what's wrong with these other monitors?" They goes, "Those monitors don't work. Those are like fake stats on there." That Chika just had monitors up there with data, and only one monitor was actually real. The other ones just had other, so he looked smarter and things. But he also cost the Coyotes a first and second for cheating, draft picks for cheating. I know now I'm thinking Maloney just because I mentioned him earlier. I know. So, so I mean, this guy is just a bad dude. He literally made the whole NHL.
Bill Armstrong.
Bill Armstrong. Thank you. They literally made he made the Coyotes a destination nobody wanted to come to.
Sure.
People didn't want to deal with him in terms of Chaika. Well, now he's hired as GM in Toronto. This is out there, folks. Like, we know it because we were here with the Coyotes. I was a fan. I could go on with Shane Doan stories. As a fan, I had season tickets then. I wasn't in the media. And Shane Doan would go out of his way for me as just a paying customer and events and things. Like, he's just an amazing human being. So you do feel slighted from that side, from that area. But then you get to the hockey side. He wasn't good at that either. He wasn't good at drafts, wasn't good at free agents. Everybody hated dealing with him because he was a liar and a cheat. Screwed Don Maloney over as a GM to get that job on top of it. All of that's out. Like, those are stories out there, gentlemen. He gets hired by Toronto.
And Toronto couldn't find anybody else.
And get this. Toronto blew out their whole thing. Toronto, by the way, hasn't been good at hockey in a long time, and they have Austin Matthews. I believe this move, because Austin Matthews is really close to Shane Doan, and I believe this move could mean Austin Matthews might be out of Toronto after this year.
Let's just roll the calendar forward. Let's say that Matt Ishbia, for one,
he's getting it.
He's able to get the Coyotes here. He buys that franchise. So now he owns the Suns and the Mercury and the Coyotes. And let's say that, he does let's say he does the smart thing and brings back Shane Doan.
Yep.
Which you got to.
He would. He's done that with the Suns and the Mercury. Why wouldn't he do that with hockey?
Yeah. And so Shane Doan, and we know I can tell you the stories that when the Coyotes drafted his son, oh man, the stories galore that came out of there. And then when his son scored a goal in his first goal with the Coyotes, look, okay, so he brings his son back.
He's in Buffalo,
but he doesn't stop there, because you just talked about it. Great friends with Austin Matthews, and Matthews is a native Arizona.
Yep. I'm here.
Bring him back, and then he doesn't stop there.
Keith
Kachuk. How about your boys?
Yeah.
Bring your Olympic boys on over here.
Yeah.
And we got a great team now. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm allowed to dream, right?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But Austin Matthews, if we had a team, he would be in play, because I do believe this might be and he's not happy in Toronto anyway because of the way they don't win and put in it. But here's the issue. So keep in mind, all this stuff's out there about this guy, about what, not just what a bad GM this guy was, but what a bad dude this guy is.
Yeah.
Toronto, God bless the Toronto media, Coop. Have you ever met anybody this brazen here in the Phoenix media to ask a question like this? Here we go. Yesterday in the press conference, asked why he hired
Steve
Chaika.
Simmons, Toronto Sun, for Keith. You talk about the due diligence that you did on John prior to hiring him and now hiring him. In the past, say 3 to 4 days, I have been in contact with about 20 people who work in the National Hockey League, many of whom are prominent names that we would all know. And of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring, and the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were used like con artist, liar, salesman. How did you come to a different conclusion than I was able to come to in a very short time?
I must have talked to different people.
Jeez.
That's it? Because I'm telling you, the hockey world today is astounded by this announcement.
Okay.
And your response to that?
Is we've conducted due diligence, and it was deep due diligence. It was a thorough process, and I'm quite happy with where we've landed.
I mean,
wow.
These stories are out there, guys.
Dude, that sounds like Bruce Cooper.
Wow. Hey, let me tell you something. Kudos to that reporter.
Yeah.
And he does it with Chaika sitting at the table.
Did you see his face?
Yeah, and I mean, he didn't mince his words.
No.
Oh my God. That's what
You want to find his
he's
name.
my hero.
Yeah.
He's my hero. I mean, son of a gun.
Would you have asked a question like that back in the day?
I would not have. No, I wouldn't have been that. I wouldn't have been that forthright and that direct, especially with the guy sitting there. But I'd have found a way to make it more of a euphemistic type of question. But
I do. I don't know if he normally talks that way, but I've sensed a nervousness in his voice when he started talking, right? Because he knew what was coming.
I need to know who that guy was.
He's with the. Well, they said it at the beginning. He's with the Toronto Sun newspaper.
Oh my God, that guy's good.
But those stories are out there, and you just heard the guy say, "Oh well, we talked to different people." Just do a Google search on Chaiga, and you'll know exactly what the history is. But how are you going to do trades? How are you going to sign free agents when most of the league doesn't like this guy and thinks he's a shade?
I'm just. I'm a mess now.
Oh, no. That was beautiful. I was thinking about you when that question came up yesterday because I was like, would Coop ever have asked the question in that form?
I wouldn't have been that direct. I mean, he just carved him up.
I mean, because you easily could have said, there's been a lot of questions, a lot of things said about John. How did you come to the conclusion?
Right. I mean, they polish it up a little bit, but son of a
sham.
They don't mess around out. They don't mess around out there in Toronto about hockey, right?
Wow.
And things to that. But yeah, Robert says Doan was a hockey player. Chaika's a Canadian politician out there. And it's just an amazing thing that happened. Now, other things. Let's just wrap up hockey here real quick with you guys. Throw the brackets up here for me, Kobe, as well. Last night, the Knights and the Ducks played. Fantastic series. Were you watching any hockey here, or are you just kind of ignoring it?
You know what? I got to admit, I was trying to follow the Mammoth.
Yep. Against the Knights.
Yeah.
That was a great series.
But I tell you what, Las Vegas, man, they scored that goal. They scored with maybe 20, 30 seconds left. That forced overtime, and they won it to go up 3-2.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a series there.
Right.
I mean, that
absolutely. Absolutely. Mammoth just needed the experience now. Now they got to improve a little bit. Get half their fans to be able to watch the games next year. Start on that with that arena upgrade deal. But last night the Knights played Anaheim, and Knights ended up winning this game. Some controversy here, and this is my question for Coop. So I'm going to come back to that game. Colorado's up 1-0 on Minnesota still. Buffalo, Montreal. They don't play till tomorrow for their first game. That's where Shane Doan's kid, Josh Doan, is playing now in Buffalo. Scored his first playoff goal in the first round series there against Boston. Carolina's up 2-0 over Philadelphia. That's going to be a sweep or a 5-game series, which I find interesting because Buffalo, Montreal don't play their first game till tomorrow. So there's going to be quite a layoff for Carolina, Philadelphia at some point here. But going back to Vegas and Anaheim here, last night two things happened. The Ducks don't. So the Ducks are driving down the ice here, and it's a referee question I got for you guys. But they go driving down the ice. I don't have the videos, but they're driving down the ice. They get an open net. The guy for the Ducks passes the puck instead of shooting it. There, they end up losing by 1. Later on in the game, icing happens where the Knights dump the puck down, and icing should have been called. A ref's right there, doesn't call it, and the Knights actually score quickly to score their second goal, and they end up winning that game 2-1. On top of it, Ducks are obviously all upset and everything. They're complaining to the after the game about not being called, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But in my eyes, you don't take a wide open shot. You can't complain about the ref's missed call later because you blew your opportunity. Also, it kind of washes itself out. My bigger question for both of you guys: we got an ex-NFL player in here, an ex-media guy for 34 years there at Channel 12. Here's my question. After that game, the referees declined to discuss or even put a statement out about the missed icing call. That ultimately cost the Ducks the game because the Knights scored on that play. I've always said referees need to get in front of the media after the games, especially playoffs, because the players have to do it, the coaches have to do it. Mistakes, non-mistakes, they have to do it. Why do we allow in sports franchises the referees to not discuss their calls on the ice after a game?
My question is, they have replay that you can challenge. I guess that would maybe
icing's non-challengeable. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Well, I guess look, we've seen it in the NBA, we've seen it in the NFL. The league will put out a statement that says, "Hey, we missed that call, we blew that," but they're never going to go back and replay it. So
but the officials declined to speak to or offer a statement.
Yeah.
See that?
That's wrong. It
drives me nuts.
You got you send the pool reporter in like they do in the NBA.
I even think that's kind of weak because you can't challenge them.
Sure. And but at least you get some type of clarification.
They looked at the meeting and go, "We're not talking about it."
No, I
But meanwhile, the poor Anaheim Ducks guy that didn't shoot to the open net and he passed it instead has to talk about his misplay. I just don't understand why do we protect these referees, Dale? And you for this.
Yeah. I've never met a referee that I like.
So that's my bigger question here is, are you guys going to join my petition that all referees have to sit in front of the media after games and get asked questions?
Oh, absolutely. I'm down with that.
Why do we not do that? Why do we protect the referees so much?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it's just not in one league. It seems like it's
every league.
Yeah.
Well, and what you could do and make it very simple is just say, okay, the head official, whatever it is, hockey, they all have the head guy, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and have him have to answer questions about 2 reporters, 3 reporters, and say, you got a 10-minute time limit or whatever, and that's part of why you make more money because you're the chief. You're the leader. You're the boss of that group.
Every head coach gets fined if they don't go in there. The players that they're asked for get fined if they don't go in there. So I just don't understand why we treat referees differently. They influence the game almost as much sometimes as the players do.
Yeah. Well, that is that's something that the fans and everybody's going to bitch about. But the missed call there and icing that I was not aware of until you brought it up.
Yeah. It was a missed call,
but what'll happen is the next set of referees that go in, it'll be in the back of their head, and so I truly believe this. They'll try to do a makeup call somewhere along the line.
That's even worse, isn't it?
It is.
So
but
I do talk about it, and whether the ref says, "Hey, we missed." I was standing right there. I missed the call. I thought it was like this. Okay, he missed it, but he explained it. It sucks. It's wrong. You're an idiot. We don't like you, ref. But at least he explained it.
Hey, look, I've seen it in the NBA with Phil Jackson, with Greg Popovich, and Pat Riley. These guys make a complaint, and I'll be darned, the next game, you see remnants of their complaint taking phone calls.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's why I gave credit to Devin Booker after whatever that was, game 2 or game 3, coming out and naming an official, full well knowing he's going to get fined, and $35,000 to him is like $350 to you and me and Steve. But took one for the team because usually that will get you some calls on your side.
Yeah. Did it work for the Suns?
Well, I you know what? I did see some changes in some. I saw SGA called for more of those push-offs.
Yeah, they did.
And
they didn't. So, more importantly, they didn't call some of those what I call flops, but some of those exaggerations. They actually didn't call some of those that they were calling earlier as well. So it helps. And it's out there because not only are the refs more attuned to it, the people that judge the refs are more in tune to it also. And the people that judge the refs go, okay, well, you guys were calling, there was no foul here, and you guys were calling it. So the next refs want to go, well, I want to ref in the next round, so I better not be calling those if they're not really fouls. So that's kind of how it works on that side. But I don't know. I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on referees being able to skate the system, no pun intended.
Before we go to break, speaking of flopping, is there anything worse than seeing a 7'1", 300-pound man crumble to the floor when he gets bumped into by a little point guard?
Talking about Joel Embiid.
You're talking about your guy, Joel Embiid. I mean, Coop, that's a long way to fall and a long way to have to get up just to flop.
Yeah. Hey, look, I didn't expect the Sixers to win Game 1, but I didn't expect them to get blown out the way they did. But because here's the deal. when you're coming off an emotional 7-game series.
Well, Kobe, throw up the playoff bracket while Bruce is talking.
An emotional 7-game series against a Celtics team that everybody now is looking to be the favorite, and you rally from down 3-1.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be a letdown.
Yeah.
There's going to be a letdown.
No doubt.
So I think that this series will, for the Sixers to really pick up in game 2. But you're right. I saw the same thing. Instead of him having the fight like they had against the Celtics, I mean, now he's trying to flop and trying to get it, you know, because his heart's not in it, his mind's not in it, physically he's not. Look, I mean, they were a joke.
I saw a funny, I saw a funny little thing on TikTok where a comedian was like, back in the 80s, guys weren't on the ground, and, their arm would be off and they'd still be running up and down the court. Nowadays, the basketball players spend more time on the ground than anybody else. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, my Knicks' third game in a row with at least a 30-point lead in a game. So that's my question last night. Are the Knicks waking up? Or is that a letdown game from the Sixers? I do expect the Knicks to kind of blow out the 76ers in this series.
Oh, not at all.
You don't think so, huh?
No.
Right.
I can see this going 7 games again.
I think Embiid's going to hit a wall in this series.
I would not be. I would
luck with the Celtics injuries, though.
I would not be surprised to see the Sixers win.
Really?
Especially if Paul George picks up his play like he did against the Celtics in those games. Paul George, along with Maxey, Edcombe, and Embiid, dude, that's tough.
I don't know, man. All those Villanova kids on the Knicks are clicking right now. So
hey,
be interesting to see. Pistons, Cavaliers. Right now, series hasn't kicked off. It's tonight, I believe, is when it kicks off. Do you think the Cavs have anything for the Pistons? The Pistons will come?
Look. I thought the Pistons were going to implode when they fell down 3-1 to Orlando, the 8th seed. But I tell you what, you got to take your hat off. The Pistons redefined their defensive effort.
They changed it. They completely changed it in a playoff series to win that series.
Yeah, but they redefined their intensity, the level, and then Harris. I mean, this dude, he couldn't miss from the outside. I mean, he just started lighting things up, and then you had. I enjoyed that little back and forth between Cunningham and Pablo. Banchero, yeah. It was fascinating to watch. But look, I don't think Cleveland's not going to be able to beat the Pistons.
I tend to agree. The thing that impressed me about the Pistons is they literally had to change how they play to beat the Magic, and you don't see that in playoffs. A lot of times, this is how we play. We're just going to traverse through it, and they completely changed it. The other thing that interests me on this series is this is the same team that Monty couldn't win. 3 games with a few years ago? Basically a similar team. A couple additions, but basically it's a similar team to what Monty had a couple years ago.
Well, here's the deal. First of all, I give Monty a lot of credit because, see, I sat year after year, game after game, in that seat, and I watched the Phoenix Suns be one of the worst organizations that you'd ever want to see. I mean, the reason they got a first round, they were in the running for that first round pick with DeAndre Ayton because they won 20 games and lost 62.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. That Monty came in and much like we saw with Jordan Ott, completely flipped the culture. Mm-hmm. I mean, in 2 years, this team is in the NBA Finals. They come back the next year, they win a franchise record, still a record, 64 wins.
But then he's beefing with his center.
Yeah. No doubt he had issues. And look, I don't think anyone looking back now will complain that DeAndre Ayton is an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in Portland thought they could fix him. No. Goes to L.A., shoot, they're playing Jackson Hayes a lot more. But I'll tell you what,
there's a lot of ice in Portland, though, to get to the stadium. So
he remembers that.
He had problems.
Yeah. Hey, so look. Did Monty handle things well? No, but I'll tell you what. When he went to Detroit, that was a very young team. Now Cade Cunningham's evolved into a perennial all-star.
Yes.
Duren, I mean, he's a big physical center. I mean, look, they are building on that, and I'm not trying to give Monty Williams any way out. but I'm not going to throw any shade on it because I saw what he did in the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah,
And
but
I thought that was
that's what I'm
nothing
here
short
to
of-
do. Though. I'll throw the shade on Monty as
Okay.
well.
No, the only thing I'd say about Monty, it seems like after the finals appearance and then the next year, something changed midway through that year.
Well, here's the deal. So after they lose to the Bucks,
yeah,
in the finals after going up 2-0, I thought we were going to win a championship. And so you come back the next year, you win a franchise record, 64 wins. You have 64-18 season. You have a very spirited series against that you beat the New Orleans Pelicans and Willie Green in 4-2. You're now up against the Mavericks. You go up 2-0 on the Mavericks. And I'm telling you, Chris Paul, they went to Dallas. He was celebrating his, I guess, 39th birthday, whatever birthday number it was. Dude, it's like he forgot how to play. I mean, he fell off the wagon. And then in Game 7, the Suns, they're down 30 points at halftime. Yeah. And this is where I really had to throw some shade at Monty. The Suns are down about 40 in the third quarter. He brings DeAndre Ayton up, and he's barking at Ayton. Yeah. And that's where the disconnect started.
Right. It was a play where another player, and I don't remember who it was, another player messed up the play, and he attacked Ayton on the sideline while the other player was sitting on the bench being ignored.
That was my whole point is that, dude, you're down by 40. Why are you singling out one player?
Right.
And I'm in no way, shape, or form want to defend DeAndre Ayton.
Right.
But I just felt that was wrong. But you know what? They went into the offseason, and Monty showed that he wasn't a big dude. Yeah. Showed he wasn't a leader. They didn't even talk, man.
Right.
And then when the season starts, I guess I'm only guessing that Jay, what's the guy's name? Jay, the big dog. Jay.
Not Nurkic.
Number 99.
Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder, thank you.
Yes.
Dude, he didn't want Jay Crowder to show up.
Yeah.
They told him to stay home.
Right.
By the way, the toughness on your team.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Monty, what's your problem, dude? You did a terrific job changing the culture and the fortunes of this franchise.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you don't talk to DeAndre Ayton at all during the offseason, and you tell Jay Crowder don't even show up.
Yeah.
Dude, are you purposely trying to sabotage the team?
But then he took it to Detroit, and he didn't get along with his players. They didn't like him. They were young. That's all I was.
So, what I was wondering, there was an obvious, not you could say disconnect, change. There's obviously something that went on between those first couple two and a half years in Phoenix into the playoffs, and then that third year. And it was dramatic.
Well, I think his ego got bigger. When they went to that final run, I think Monty's ego just kind of exploded, and then Chris Paul and the team wasn't having it. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, something. Look, it clearly became a personality issue,
right?
That soured between coach and player.
Yeah, I know Chris Paul, who loved him in those first couple years, turned on him a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, look. I'm not mad at a dude that can turn the fortunes of a team that was 20-62 and just lost. And look,
a decade.
And dude, Dale, it went on and on. And here's the deal: I was really getting upset because the Suns would have the 4th overall pick, the 3rd overall pick, and they're drafting kids like Josh Jackson or who's that?
They had the 5th and 7th pick in one draft, and neither one of them could play.
Yeah, and in the same draft, you see people like De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray go. I mean, it's like, dude, come on. I mean, come on, man. We put up with this nonsense for a whole.
At least a decade.
Yeah, Ryan McDonough was just like, dude, what are you doing?
Hey, really quick, wrap up basketball. Spurs lost to the Timberwolves last night. Anthony Edwards played last night.
I was shocked that he did play.
From that perspective, was that a blip for the Timberwolves? Because watching that game, I felt like the Spurs are going to be okay. It's just they lost game one.
Let me tell you something. If you look at the stats, and because I was watching the game, look at that, you see that Wemby, 15 rebounds, 12 block shots.
Yeah.
Only 11 points. And here's the deal. 5 of 17 from the field, 0 of 8 from three-point land. If he just hits maybe a quarter of his shots. I mean, they win.
And they had a chance to win it. They hit the front of the rim on the shot to win. So to me, the Timberwolves played as best as they can possibly play.
Yeah.
They got the win barely. I think the Spurs are going to be okay.
Yeah, but they got
forward,
the win in San Antonio.
They did.
So they stole one. And I'm looking on ESPN, and Wemby's talking about his use of energy. And he needs to use more energy on offense rather than D. It's like, don't you just play, Coop? When you play basketball, did you say? Well, I'm not. I guess I can't say that because I did rest a little bit on the defensive side of the ball when I played. But are you talking about that in the playoffs? My use of energy?
No. Look. This was his 6th career playoff game,
right?
Because they beat Portland.
And he's young,
and so I don't even want to use that as an excuse because the dude dominated the game. Matter of fact, we talked about the 12 blocks. He completely had Minnesota altering so many other shots. I mean, they could only make moves when he was off the floor, but he was such an albatross on the offensive end. I mean, you know those lobs that they normally can get to him, and not even attempting those. I mean, he's out shooting 0 for 8 from 3-point land.
Right.
I mean, it was amazing to see.
Well, you could argue he makes one of them. And they win. Yeah. You could argue that.
I would argue if the Spurs don't get a better court because that thing was ugly to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that they tried to match up the shirts with the color in the court. You know, I was like, okay.
The court is driving me nuts every time they went across midcourt.
That's San Antonio for you.
Yeah, one section of fans with blue, this with pink.
All the women like churros too much there.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles Barkley, for that. Do the Lakers have any chance against the Thunder?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Without Luka, with Luka, do they get a chance?
I don't know. Look, even with Luka, see, Luka struggles against athletic teams like that. Yeah, he struggles, and so.
Well, he ain't coming back 100%, no matter what you say.
Right. They're not there, but they will do a better job than the Phoenix Suns did because they have some size. Roy Hachimura, and you got the Hayes and Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton.
Don't forget about Ayton.
Yeah, but at least they'll use those guys.
Yeah,
and so they're. SGA won't be able to dominate in the paint the way he did with Phoenix.
Yeah, so
they ain't winning, though. They ain't winning.
I'm with you on that. When we come back, let's get into it. Diamondbacks. Last time we talked, Coop, you and me, Tuesday last week.
Oh, man.
We brought up starting pitching. We were like the first ones to bring it up. Now everybody has noticed that the starting pitching is atrocious.
Oh, man.
Coming back, let's talk about it. The Athletic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name. We're having a little conversation, folks.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
Exactly.
Welcome back.
Coop, by the way, just a little glimpse. He's still in shock of the reporter's question.
He is.
The Toronto Maple Leafs press conference on the hiring of John Chaika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to send it to him right now so he can see it later on and just relive the glory days.
We asked Coop 34 years. Has he ever asked a question like that in that manner?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, most teams won't let you do. It'll be interesting that reporter gets some blowback from the team a little bit.
You know, the closest I probably came was to the late former NBA commissioner. I don't know why I'm losing names today.
David Stern?
David Stern.
Oh, yeah. And he would fight back.
David Stern came and spoke because this was about a year after the Robert Horry hip check.
Okay.
No one forget it.
No.
This dude had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to say, look, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. He says the Suns still had 3 games to play and make that right.
Yeah.
Like, dude. And so I'm like, David, you have heard of home court advantage, right? I said the Suns just took that away from the Spurs by winning Game 4. They're coming back home. You took away 2 of their stars. That's the closest I came. I mean, and I allowed him to give some stupid response, and I didn't even challenge him. But this dude right here, this dude right here was great.
Is that it? The guy goes, we must talk to different people.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It?
Yeah, he goes, we talk to different people. It is amazing. But yeah, when that happened, I thought about you, Coop, when that guy when I saw that yesterday with that conversation. But then you got your Diamondbacks. 2 things I've noticed with the Diamondbacks since we last spoke. Obviously, we have an offensive starting problem. We have hitting problem right now as well. The young guys aren't hitting. They were propping this team up a little bit while Marte and Carroll and Perdomo were struggling a little bit. Now nobody's hitting going into it. But the thing I've noticed the most, I brought it up to Dale yesterday, Torey Lovullo seems, I don't know how else to phrase it, seems a little bit angry for the beginning of this season, I've noticed here in this last road trip. He seems to be a lot more vocal. Seems to be a little more like when he went out after the Perdomo Marte misplay in the field for that double play. Mm-hmm. When he went to the mound, you could tell he was very upset about it and the way they were playing. We haven't seen that from Torey publicly in the field very often, and we're seeing it early here.
Yeah, and again, on this very show, we were lauding the starting pitching. We were saying, man, when Merrill Kelly comes back, who's going to the bullpen? You know, who's going to get sit down or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Because Soroka and Eduardo Rodriguez, they were pitching their behinds off. Gallen was back. I mean,
turns out they should have sent Merrill Kelly down.
Yeah, dude. Since I mean, my gosh, I don't know what's his deal, but he's not even close to being that guy. Not even close. And it seems like it's had a cyclical effect or a domino effect, I should say, because every pitcher now, even Soroka, even Rodriguez, the guys that were going well, they can't even get past the 3rd inning now. It's amazing. So, but I will say this: the bullpen has still pitched really well. I mean, you really can't find much fault in that bullpen. Yeah, I know Sewalt has a couple 2 or 3 losses that came when in a non-save situation, but I think the dude's like 8 for 8.
But they haven't had a save situation since 2024. It feels like at this point. But that's the problem that I got on the bullpen that you got to watch for is when your starters only go 3-4 innings and you're down 7-8 runs. You're going to blow your bullpen out. You're going to use all those arms up. They're going to be tired by June.
Absolutely.
And that's going to lead to those problems then on top of it. But my question for you, Coop, is I asked Dale this, is when it's one person, Dale always says, when it's one lineman, okay, it's that lineman. If it's the whole line, it's something bigger encompassing on it. These starters are...
Be a little more specific.
Okay.
So he's talking about coaching.
Yeah.
And my offensive line coach, Hudson Houck, for all 11 years in Dallas, the one thing he said if it's the right tackle doing his own thing and messing up, it's usually that guy. If it's multiple guys doing that, then you look at the coach. And so I think that's where he's going with the pitching staff.
When all 5 guys who were good, and all of a sudden all 5 guys fall apart, all in a row.
So
There's got to be something else going on,
so
right?
are you asking that is the pitching coach all of a sudden
Whoever. You can go as high as the manager and go on what is happening. I'll tell you what's happening in the locker room where all 5 guys go into this big slump at the same time and can't get out of it at the same time.
Yeah, and then all 5 guys are all going great at the same time. I mean, yes. I don't get that. Look, Ryan Nelson pitched his butt off in Chicago against the Cubs. Mm-hmm. He deserved better, but like you said, I mean, he left with a 1-0 deficit after 6 innings, and his offense just couldn't do anything, and they wound up losing the game 2-0.
Yeah,
but that's the best starting pitching assignment that we've seen in a couple weeks.
It's not that they're giving up a ton of runs. I mean, obviously that's worrisome.
Oh, it's that inning, that one inning that they get.
And it's they're throwing bullpen fastballs right down the middle of the plate that are being launched to the moon, and guys are being walked onto base. It's not a guy just one inning he's struggling out there because, they just caught on to him. I'm kind of wondering, I asked Dale this, I'm kind of wondering, has the league caught up to the Diamondbacks starting pitching? What I mean by that is we're a month into the season, plenty of film now. Well, and then so they've all caught up and been like, this is what they throw here, this is what they throw here, this is what happened. And if you get to them here, you'll have a bigger inning, stuff to that effect. And the Diamondbacks haven't adjusted. That's the coaching stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah, but here's the deal too. We looked at this Diamondbacks schedule for the first month, and we said, my gosh, if they can just play 500, stay around 500, they'll be okay. Well, even though they got swept in Chicago, their second sweep of the season, because they had an opening series sweep against the Dodgers.
Right.
Here they are, still right around 500, 16-17, and so you're saying that if that's the criteria that we laid out to begin with this season, well, that's where they are, but when you exceed those expectations.
What team just did that locally? The Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Fast start.
When you exceed that, then you raise the bar. And so what was a strength during the first, 3-4 weeks of the season has now become a great disadvantage or a great albatross to the team. It's like, dude, no, that's not acceptable. Well, so that's where you find yourself saying right now. It's not acceptable because we saw what this staff was capable of, and they went against some of the top teams in baseball.
Right.
Even the White Sox, they're third in their division. They have a better record than the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
and you lost that series to them. But then the other side of it is that kind of worries me here is, this is where you project out a little bit. Torey Lovello's teams go into very large slumps. So even the World Series year, remember that whole month of July where they couldn't win a game? They go into these big slumps and they can never get out of them in a fast manner. It just lulls for 3-4 weeks. So now you're sitting here going, great start to the season, you're 500. Oh, crap. Is this one of those lulls? Both on hitting and pitching at this point, where you're just going, oh, my God, here's the July slump. In May.
Well, it seems like when Corbin Carroll is hitting and doing well, it seems like it has that domino effect for the rest of the hitters.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and then you had the young kids like Fernandez who are ripping the ball off. I mean, and Barossa coming up with timely hits. You said, if Marte and Perdomo ever get going, if Arenado gets going, hey, look, now – when Corbin Carroll's not going well, it seems like not even our young kids are going well.
Well, you look at Alex Thomas. He's batting 180.
Dude, he's about to be off this team.
Alec Thomas needs to go back down. I think this is when you bring up that
Walshchild.
Yeah, Walt Schmidt.
I call Wildchild.
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot of guys down there that you need to do it, but they haven't played Alec Thomas over the weekend and now, so I think the move's coming. It's just a matter of when they pull the trigger. That's what frustrates you is the good teams out there will make a move. Torey Lovello, I think it was Sunday, goes, well, we're starting the discussions on who we're going to bring up from down there. Shouldn't you be having those discussions all along? So if you need somebody, you can pull the trigger in a second?
Yeah, look, I don't know what Walt Schmidt is doing down.
He's dominating.
Is it really?
And he plays mostly in center field.
Well,
You get rid of Alec Thomas, what do you need?
Well, look, he's not a better defensive outfielder than Barossa.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's the other side. Where's Barossa? Why isn't Barossa
So
playing?
Barossa, if I sent Alec Thomas down and I brought up Waldschmidt's not playing center field for me. Barossa is.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. Why can't you just let Lourdes Gurriel be your DH? I mean, Lourdes, he's not going to play the outfield.
You need ADC and
I just look. The loyalty goes so far. Look, I'm okay with trading Lourdes Gurriel. I'm okay with trading Santana. And
not gonna get anything for Santana.
I don't have to. I mean, I can designate him for assignment. I'm good with that.
He's been terrible in Reno in his rehab assignment.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. But did anyone think that Ildemaro Vargas would be doing leading the team in home runs and hitting, batting average?
Player of the month last month. Yeah. 35 years old. Go old guys. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, he's been a great surprise, but also Fernandez's ability to move over there and play some quality defense at first base as well. So I'm looking at people like Gino Groover, people like Tommy Troy that I can bring up from the minors and get rid of a guy like Santana. And if Alex Thomas is going to hit below the Mendoza line, let's go ahead and give the young kids Waldschmidt a chance.
Well, I said on Friday because I got excited about Friday's lineup because it was all young kids in the lineup for the most part. Like I said, and then they promptly went out and did nothing. On top of it, kind of let me down. But the young guys, to me, I'll put it this way: when the young guys were hitting, and the older guys, Perdomo, Marte, and those guys, there's just the young guys bringing energy to this Diamondbacks team that you notice on the base pass. You notice on the field. When Marte and those guys don't bring that same energy.
Well, you said when Corbin Carroll gets on base, when he's hitting the ball, it seems like there's an energizer bunny in the team. And when he's struggling, which he is right now, it seems like somebody pulled the battery out.
Yeah.
So here's the pitching matchup for the 3 days. We do see Paul Skeens in this matchup. Tonight you got Bubba Chandler and Eduardo Rodriguez here tonight. You pretty much better win this game because tomorrow you got Paul Skeens and Michael Soroka from that perspective. And then on Thursday for the day game there, 12:40 p.m., Mitch Keller and Zach Gallen battling it out.
Well, didn't last time Pittsburgh come to town, didn't Skeens get banged around pretty good? Or last time they played, was it Pittsburgh or here?
Yeah, they got Skeens dominated early, and the game was in Pittsburgh. He dominated early. But it was like Diamondbacks came up with like a 5-run 6th or 7th inning against them, and
I mean, he's hittable. Guys will hit him. It's just you got to catch him on that day. But the bats are quiet right now. Getting outscored 44-18 in the Milwaukee Cubs series. It's two problems. You're giving up a lot of runs, but you're also not scoring very many runs. It's like worst.
That's a bad combination. That's a bad combination.
Yeah, it is. And they had a chance to actually win 2 of those games in Milwaukee. And the fact that they only won one of the 3 and then get swept by Chicago, it's like, hey, I don't know what's up with Chicago, but man, I've heard they've won like what 12, 13 in a row at home.
Yeah.
They're up and down right now. They were last place in that division like 3 weeks ago, and now I think they're first in that division. The other thing about the Diamondbacks that are interesting is, like I said, I see Torrey with a little bit more. I'm going to say anger is the word, but a little bit more body language and things early. I don't know. Does that tell you something about him going into this season? That he's doing this early now, because before he would do it later in the thing, but not a lot of emotion from him. We're seeing it more. Does that tell you anything, like inside the clubhouse, or at least what he's thinking?
I think the desperation is hitting him a lot earlier, because I think that he really sees, hey, look, I've been given another year to get this thing right. And, because at some point, when you start, stacking the years there, there's always that realization that players start tuning you out. So you start asking yourself that question. So I think Torrey, his expectation level for this team has risen, and he's not willing to sit back and say, "Oh, we'll get it together." I mean, he's calling people out.
Yeah.
He's making moves, and then, like you said, he's showing a lot more desperation early than what he has in the past.
I asked Dale this. Yeah, there's danger of the locker room tuning him out because he doesn't normally do that. And so they're like, whatever. Nice guy Torrey is trying to act all tough now.
Well, one thing that you can rely on is if you start stacking your team with young kids, those young kids, they want to play. They want to prove themselves. So they'll run through a wall for the coach.
Well, and the thing I always say about coaches is if you're always a yeller, people will tune you out. If you're always a quiet guy, eventually people will tune. But if you're a quiet guy and all of a sudden they sense that there's some urgency in you, more times than not, the group responds to that, a change in personality from the coach. But we'll see if that happens for the baseball field.
Look, the schedule is going to start to flip. And so the Diamondbacks did what they were supposed to do, from the projections early on, or just the hope early on. They stay around 500. Yeah. The schedule flips. So schedule's flipping.
Right. It goes from like a .542 average. The teams you play, their schedule and the hardness of their schedule, it goes down to like a low .4, 100 level for the rest of the season. So it does get a little bit lighter as you go on. As well, the starting pitching was always smokes and mirrors, according to Robert. And I'm not going to say smokes and mirrors, but you knew it was going to.
But Robert, let me ask you this, Robert: has Merrill Kelly been this bad consistently since he's became an Arizona Diamondback?
So last year, I saw somebody put this stat out. Last year, his first 3 starts were not good, but then he woke up and dominated. So the hope was after 3 starts, he'd wake up and dominate. Of course, had another bad one as well. So there's something with guys coming off of ILs in this team. Like you're seeing with Santana down in Reno. It's like, why are these guys coming off of the IL and not ready to play to where they look so bad? And then Robert also said, need Rob Walton to save us? Only way to move on from the Hazen-Lovello duo. Which my point on that is the reason why I'm noticing Torrey's stuff and everything, I'm wondering if Torrey was told, hey, man, you got to do this year or we're done. We're done. And I'm wondering now if he's like, okay, now I need to be a little more fiery earlier. We need to correct these things earlier. We need to get out of every team slumps. We need to get out of these slumps a little bit easier. I can't sit back this year and hope it turns around later on. We got to be on top of this year because I like this team. I like working here. I'd like to keep it going. I'm wondering if some of that's happening as well.
Well, I do know this, that the Valley needs something. It's a long summer.
Yes.
And
it's a long summer just in anticipation of 3 more wins next year in the football season. So, they need something to keep us interested over the summer.
Yeah, because, we've had a rough stretch.
It could be worse. I'll leave you with this, gentlemen. Who knew that in St. Louis there was cleaning crew battles out there? This isn't funny, but it is something I find interesting. A 27-year-old man was stabbed to death early Monday morning at Busch Stadium, where the Cardinals play. Wow. An alleged dispute between members of a cleaning crew at the Cardinals ballpark. A 65-year-old man was taken into custody.
Stabbed another guy.
On the cleaning crew at the stadium. So what I want to bring up on that, it's not funny that somebody died, but what I want to bring up on that is we don't have problems compared to that. When there's a cleaning crew,
they don't have metal detectors that the cleaning crew has to go through.
They got to get through everything.
Meanwhile, the Cardinals are 21-14. Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're playing well for a team that got rid of. That's the thing, man. That's the other thing that drives me nuts about the Diamondbacks. Teams with lesser talent are playing really well right now, and the Diamondbacks are just there. They're always at 500 with Torey Lovello. It's just we're always at 500, always there. Well, it's just they can't go 20 games above 500. It's
I just wonder if they can apply to Major League Baseball to be moved to the American League West because they'd be 1 game out of first place in the American League West.
Who's leading that division?
The Athletics.
Yeah, that's right. The Athletics. The Mariners aren't doing well.
I'll tell you this: that the Diamondbacks remain in the wild card because everybody else is around 500. Yeah. And I think the Mets lost like 900 in a row. Now I think they lost, 12, 13 in a row?
12 in a row. I think it was 12, and they got the Mets coming up after Pittsburgh here in this stretch as well. So, Coop, appreciate you coming in as always. Always a good time.
Right. Enjoyed it.
And then Dale and I, well, maybe Dale will be back tomorrow. We'll see. It's Wednesday. We'll see how he feels. The rest of us will be back tomorrow, meeting me as well. We'll see you at 8 o'clock. Come and join us. Don't forget to follow TME Media AZ on YouTube, folks. Catch us there as well. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great one. Go D-backs.